I do think that this year there's going to be some tremendous market correction. Okay. I think that people are going to start coming to the conclusion that they have to sort of run for safety in this.
Interesting.
Now, a lot of people think that the markets are so manipulated now by the central banks and the governments that they can't crash anymore, that they're just going to go up. Well, why did they do such an enormous pullback in March? I believe that the world's central banks can manipulate the markets, but they can't overcome the free market in the short term. What they can do is create a tremendous amount of currency after a market crash, get the markets to go up. And when they do that, they steal wealth from the poor and the middle class, people that are holding on to currency, and they boost financial assets such as the stock market, making Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos centibillionaires. So they're stealing from the rest of the population, and they're bestowing that stolen wealth upon the wealthiest people on the planet.
So, okay, there's a bunch of stuff in there I want to unpack. And I just want to begin by saying a lot of what you're talking about, you've covered in a series of videos called A History of Money. I think there's
The Hidden Secrets of Money.
The Hidden Secrets of Money. That's right. And these were put out 7 years ago, Mike?
It was over a 10-year process. The last one was just about two years ago, I think.
Okay.
And we're coming out with a couple of new episodes that are actually part of a different series, The Formula for Prosperity.
Okay. Hidden Secrets of Money. And I found these, I guess, 5-6 years ago. They're excellent. And, there was a 6-part series when I found them. Everybody should check this out, and provides a lot of expansion on what you're talking about currency versus money. So
they were originally made we were going to do a series for PBS or the History Channel. So this is shot in 18 countries, 2 full-time animators. Dan Rubach is my producer, director, and he edits the thing and scores it. And these are done to a very, very high standard. When you're shooting in 18 countries, these things are not cheap. We've spent more than $1 million on this 10-part series. And it's not your average YouTube stuff. And then we give it away for free. It's just good knowledge. And if you want to see the production quality, start with the last one, episode 10, and then go back and watch some of the others. But episodes 9 and 10, to me, I think that it's worth somebody making a bowl of popcorn and putting it on their big screen TV.
Got it. All right. Okay. Now, you mentioned a couple of things there, forecasting a market correction. A lot of the people that I talk to are completely aligned with this. If this occurs 2021, it's hard to time these things. I don't ask for specifics, but, in that scenario, Mike, would you expect a similar response this time to the crash we had in March, where there's a flight to US dollars before cash gets redistributed to probably hard assets instead of financial assets?
There will be both, because each time it's going to be less and less a flight to US dollars, because when you talk about the US dollar, you're usually talking about US treasuries.
Sure.
And bonds are becoming, if you have a population that isn't as rich as it was the previous year, and our GDP contracted because of these lockdowns. So if you have a smaller tax base, the bonds become more and more suspect over the years, because the bonds rely on future taxation. This is part of, we live in a modern monetary system that is it's a feudal type of system. We are serfs because we have to work to replace stolen purchasing power that they do through taxation to pay the principal and the interest. We're paying off in the U.S. We've got 30-year bonds. So we're paying off the prosperity that we enjoyed under the first George Bush, back in the 90s. We just finished paying off the Ronald Reagan era. There is a market crash coming, but each time there is a flight to safety, you're going to see a higher percentage go toward gold, silver, and cryptos, and a smaller percentage going toward bonds, because bonds in a shrinking GDP, and the big brokerage firms can figure this out. It takes them a little longer. I mean, I'm surprised that it took them this long to start identifying cryptocurrencies and stuff. As we're starting to see big firms that are normally investing in only traditional financial assets starting to go into cryptocurrency. We're starting to see big pension funds announce that they're going to be purchasing gold. And this is just something that is a transition. And these guys are late, but they can still make the party. They're just not early for the party. You and I were early for this party, which is great. I mean, gold and silver have been the number one behind cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and such.
Yeah.
They've been the number one performing asset of this century. And people still think it's a lunatic fringe thing.
Right.